On this week's episode, we welcome the Boise Open winner, Chan Kim, finished T2 in the points list to earn his 2024 card.
Hey, it's our first guest we've ever had that has a Wikipedia page.
I want my own Wikipedia page. He's got great stories, good goals, good guy. Chan Kim is next. I think we got you, Chan.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
You can.
There we go.
Okay, so Mike just told me, is this your first Zoom meeting?
It is, yeah.
Ever?
Yeah, actually, my sister uses it a lot, so I actually had to ask my sister how to do it.
That's a good problem to have. You don't want to do Zoom meetings, so you should keep your day job.
Yeah, I was kind of nervous trying to figure it out, and yeah, I'm glad I got it working.
No, all good, man. We appreciate you coming on, man. It's great to see you again. Where are you right now?
I'm back home in Arizona right now.
Okay. All right. Has it been a whirlwind since we last saw you in Boise? What you been doing?
It's been kind of crazy. So after obviously the back-to-back wins in Jersey and Boise, um, after that there was a week off. Came back home, was working on the game, and went back, and it just didn't feel the same. And I I mean, honestly, like I started hitting it so bad. So I was struggling a little bit there, and then I got to our final event at Victoria National, and kind of just scraped it around, finished T20th. Obviously, the number one spot was in mind, and but yeah, I mean, Ben played really well, and I just didn't have my full game, but I'm glad to at least finish second on the points list, and I'm excited to see what's in store for me next season.
You had your card wrapped up going into that event, and I know you wanted to definitely get number one on the points list, but I mean, shoot, just a heck of an end of summer to the end of the season run for you.
Yeah, when I think we were talking, I want to say it was the week of Jersey. So, I think after the second round, I had an interview, and we were just talking about how, there's, 6 events left, I think, at the time. And, I'm kind of running out of time. End of the season, top 30 gets their tour cards, and I think I was sitting at 54th. And so, it was kind of stressful. Felt like I played well all year, really consistent, just didn't really have any top finishes. On the weekends, just wasn't playing well. And yeah, so it was kind of a nerve-wracking, 6 weeks. Just I knew I had to get something going to get my tour card. As good as these guys are, it's unbelievable. You can shoot most weeks, you shoot 4 or 5 under, and you might drop 2 spots, 3 spots. You shoot even, you're probably dropping 40 spots. So
Right.
It's very, very competitive out there. But yeah, after that win in Jersey, it's I want to say I was expecting the win in Boise, but winning back-to-back weeks is pretty tough. The odds are kind of against you, but then to go out and do it bogey free for 72 holes was a pretty amazing feeling.
I was joking with Eddie. You went bogey free all weekend, and I can't even go bogey free the first couple of holes of a round of golf.
Well, whatever bogeys I didn't make in Boise, I promise I made it up in Columbus. So
At Columbus.
You had 7 straight rounds from Magnet to Boise that you didn't shoot higher than 68, Jan.
Yeah,
that's called golfing your ball.
I was looking at some stats like Lucas Glover. You know how the PGA Tour on Instagram and stuff, they'll post their last 10 rounds, and it's 62, 68, 61. And so I was it was pretty cool to see that, that number that in 7 rounds that I haven't shot anything over 68 or whatever it was. But when you're on a hot streak, I guess you just got to go with the flow and just keep it going. And you'd love to keep it forever, but this game it'll drive you crazy. So yeah, it was a blessing for it to happen at that time. Really got my confidence going, and yeah, obviously after that it was just kind of smooth sailing.
Well, I want to let everybody know who, in fact, we are speaking to. So that we have Chan Kim here. He is a professional golfer. You were born in Suwon, South Korea, but you grew up in Hawaii. He played his collegiate golf at Arizona State, which you already said, and you were newly minted again, round 2 for the PGA Tour. Okay. Has that sunk in yet? Saying that you have your PGA Tour card yet?
It definitely has now. After nationals or at Victoria National, even for the week after, it still wasn't settling in. I'm, still kind of just in shock and just kind of thinking back to, all the practice sessions and all the work I put in and just to know that it does pay off at the end in the end. It's almost like just a huge just weight being lifted off my shoulders. And but I'm also thankful for a lot of people around me that have supported me and especially my parents. They've made a lot of sacrifices throughout the years to get me to where I am and, support me financially. And so yeah, I've been very lucky and very blessed and hopefully I can kind of return a favor now that I've got my PGA Tour card.
So what's the plan is for the next, couple of months while you're gearing up for that?
Yeah, I'm actually gonna start working out next week, and I know we're supposed to be professional athletes, but I'm gonna be honest with you, I probably haven't seen a gym in 5 years. Due to the fact that I was working out a lot, before 2018, and so 2017, I don't know, probably only the closest people to me know this, but I played at Birkdale for the Open Championship that year. I led driving distance that week. My highest recorded ball speed, I think, was 196, and I was probably cruising at 185. So I was really fit, obviously younger, hitting the ball a mile. And then I had a back injury at the end of 2017, which took me out for a full season in 2018. And I came back and it was like I was still hitting it decently far. And so I didn't have the motivation to go to the gym. And so progressively, my ball speed's gone slower and swing speed's gone slower. Body's not feeling the same, getting older as well. And then now, playing out in Japan, I didn't really need the distance. I could get away with hitting it a little bit shorter. But nowadays, like you see the kids are coming out of the PGA Tour U and 180 is like the new normal. 180 ball speed, swinging at 120. Working out, fit. They're all, they all have like a nutritionist or somebody that kind of guides them through the whole process, not just a swing coach or the mental side of the game. So, it's pretty impressive to see these guys coming out of college that are just, super athletes pretty much.
Right.
Are courses predominantly shorter there on the Japan tour? Is that why you say that you didn't need the distance?
Yeah, I mean, if you average, 170 or higher, I think you could play pretty well out there. Courses aren't overly long, and they're also pretty narrow compared to courses out here. So a lot of tree line golf courses, a lot of greens rolling at 12. Some slope on the greens, some slope in the fairways, because most of their courses are built along mountainsides because you can't have them in city centers like we do out here. So
yeah.
Yeah, it's you can get away with a lot more out there, and then you come out here and if you're not hitting it long and not having wedges or even like mid irons into par fives, where I'm hitting a longer iron in and can't stop it as fast, it makes a big difference. So, yeah, I didn't want to work out during the season just because I knew what my body was doing already. But now that it's the off season, I'd like to get something going to where, I can wake up out of bed feeling more energized, ready to go. My body doesn't take as long to warm up in the mornings, even whether it's cold or it's warm. So yeah, I just like to get my body into shape. I mean, you see all these guys on the PGA Tour and the Korn Ferry Tour, that will wake up. I mean, they're going to the gym, they'll do, some warm-up exercises, and then they'll go out. It's not just just stretch for 5 minutes anymore. So yeah, it's the game's evolved, and it's actually pretty cool to see. Scary, but cool to see.
I want to go back to your parents. You, with all the tremendous support that they've given you over the years, are they the ones that got you into this silly game?
So my dad, yeah. So I grew up playing a few sports, soccer, baseball, tennis, basketball. And then when I used to follow my dad to the driving range all the time. He used to be a two handicap, and played really well. And so when I was 12, I had a buddy who played golf, so I followed him to the driving range, and he had clubs that are, pretty much fit for me, I guess. And so I tried it out, I guess, and he said my swing was good and was hitting it halfway decent, a couple whiffs here and there, but I could make some solid contact. And so the next time I went to the driving range with my dad, I wanted to I asked him if I could hit a few balls. He said yeah, and I guess he saw potential in me, and so he was like, yeah, let's go take some lessons and see where it goes.
Did you fall in love with the game right away, or did it take a while?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Growing up, I would say from when I started to before I moved out here to Arizona in 2007, so that's when I was 17. Um, let's say school would finish at 2:30. The golf course was right across the street, so my mom would pick me up. We'd grab a quick lunch to go. She'd drop me off at the driving range. I'd sign up for 9 holes. It was just like a waitlist thing, public golf course. Sign up, go hit balls, and then when my name was called, come back and then tee off, play nine, and then I'd go back to hit balls, and I'd probably stay there from 7 to 11. And then on the weekends, I'd be up at 3:30, get to the golf course by 4:30, sign up, play, eat breakfast, play 18, sign up again, hit balls, play 18, eat dinner, and then hit balls again. So like it was basically my whole life. Like I really didn't go out to hang out with friends or anything like that. I just it was so fun for me. And so when you first start, you see the most improvement. So um yeah, I just kept seeing improvements and wanted to work harder. There have been nights that I'll get back at 10:30, and I'll see something on Golf Digest magazine at the time, and I'd go up and I'd wake my mom up at midnight because the range was open till 2, and I say I have to go. And so there have been a lot of times where my mom's woken up at midnight and had to drive me to the driving range for 2 more hours of practice. So
Amazing.
Wow.
What an amazing mother. Wow. When did you know you were good?
um I guess when I shot my first even par round a year and a half after starting golf. And so I started playing junior tournaments. And by the time I was 14, I was playing well enough. I was winning winning tournaments in the 13 to 14 division, which is out there. And then so I actually moved up to the 15 and 18 and was winning then. And so, I felt like, oh, if I can compete with the older boys, like I've got a pretty good chance of, making it to state and high school. And, just it was just kind of short term goals at the time. And then when I hit, 16, 17, and I'm winning amateur stuff in Hawaii, is when I really thought, oh man, like, I want to go to college, play college golf, and then I want to turn pro and I want to do this for a living.
Did you get a scholarship at ASU?
I did, yeah.
Good.
I did. I was actually got recruited very late. I was let's see, 2007. I was at the Polo Junior, which is a match play for AJGA at the time,
Mm-hmm.
and Coach Randy Lyon was walking around with Mr. Jim Ahern from Titleist, and so I kind of got the best of both worlds. Mr. Ahern offered me, to give me ball shoes, gloves as support,
Mm-hmm.
and Coach Lyon wanted me on the team. And the first year I didn't have a scholarship, but the second year he gave me one. So it was yeah, it was pretty awesome.
That's one of the best places to play golf too. I've seen their facilities and stuff. It's so nice.
It is, yeah, it is really nice. And this new one actually at Papago is absolutely amazing.
Jan, what island did you grow up on in Hawaii?
I grew up on Oahu.
Okay. I used to live in Kona on the Big Island,
Hmm.
and even worked at Kukio.
Okay.
Tell us some of your favorite courses over on the island.
Oh gosh. I mean, Waialae, I've, obviously for Sony, but I've
For
only
Sony, sure.
played there probably twice or three times since I was there. It's strictly membership only, and
Hmm.
so if I had the opportunity, I would definitely go. Um, and then, to be honest, Alawai Golf Club, which is just a public golf course I used to go to. It was just a very fun environment and very fun golf course, and the locals are great, um, and just a lot of memories there, just growing up, and so every single time I go back to Hawaii, I always go there and see if anything's changed or what's going on. So, um, and then Pearl Country Club, spent a majority of my time there, learning under David Ishii at the time. And he gave us a killer deal where it was $50 a month, and it was unlimited range balls, and we could go out and play. So, um, that and the Pearl Open was there, which a lot of the Japanese players would come over. So, I mean, there have been, like Ryo Ishikawa used to come
Hmm.
over and play that. And, I used to think, wow, like he's the same age as me, but, he was basically a superstar at the time. So,
Right.
Right.
Yeah, when he was 19.
so that was pretty cool to see. And, I mean, there have been a lot. I mean, obviously Turtle Bay up in North Shore, that's another really, really good one. Um, a really cool one that I don't think a lot of people know about is Ko'olau, up by the Pali Mountains. That's closed down now, but it was probably the hardest golf course I've played up to date.
Is that
I've
like
seen
one of
some
those?
videos of that course. Yeah, the Jurassic
Is that the
course.
Jurassic Park golf course, Jan?
Yeah, pretty
Yeah.
much.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like that. Well,
Did
you
you
had it.
ever get to play the kind of OA Clipper course on the
I
Marine Corps
have, yeah.
base?
I did play there once. Obviously, I can't remember which hole it was. It's been, it was such a long time ago, but there was this one hole literally where it's a drop off cliff straight to the ocean on the right side of the hole.
Yep. I think
Yeah,
that's 14, 13. It's their
I think it's
signature.
14. I wanted to say
Yeah.
14, but yeah, I mean, there's, being on an island, there's so many golf courses that are kind of next to the ocean, and so you have a lot of really cool like landscape um, golf courses out there.
Yeah.
You had a heck of an amateur career. You had 4 wins every year from 2007 to 2010. The Hawaii Amateur, Arizona Stroke Play Championship, Pacific Coast Amateur in 2009, and then the Arizona Stroke Play Championship again in 2010.
Yeah. Wow, I
And
didn't
then
even
you
know that
turned pro,
actually.
and you turned pro that year.
I did, yeah, in 2010. After the summer, I'd been playing really well, and um, my mindset was, I can turn pro now, go get the experience, um, and I could always finish school later. Um, and to be honest, like even looking back at it now, I don't think it could have. I feel like it could have gone well both ways. I could have either had more experience playing college golf at a high level, or I could turn pro, try and get on a tour somewhere and play at a high level. So I think both ways would have worked out. But I just wanted to dedicate more time to golf,
Hmm.
and so I decided to turn pro and played the Canadian Tour to start. Then I played the European Challenge Tour, Asian Tour, Japan Tour, and then now Korn Ferry Tour. So yeah, I've played just about every tour I think that you could possibly think of, just worldwide. But yeah, it's been quite the journey.
Do you remember your first professional, like, welcome to professional golf moment? Whether it be a nerve-wracking one of just like, okay,
Cool.
I'm on a professional circuit now.
Um, Definitely. I mean, I guess the only really big one that really got to me was probably Birkdale, only because it was a major and
Hmm.
um, like every other tournament, like I've played in tournaments before, so it wasn't like, oh my gosh, like I've never played a tournament and now I'm trying to play in a professional golf tournament. At the end of the day, it's another tournament, but with majors, it's just a different vibe. I mean, you step
Yeah.
up to the first tee, and it is nerve-wracking.
It
And
it wasn't apparently that nerve-wracking for you, Chan. You got T11.
yeah, so
Talk
so
us through
funny.
that week.
Yeah, there was so I actually got to play with one of my buddies that week. He also qualified. He qualified in Korea. I had qualified in Japan. And so we got paired together. So that obviously helped a lot because now,
Mhm.
it's just kind of like you know, just out for a golf game with friends. Um, but I think I want to say I shot even par maybe the first round. And so the second round, we get out there and it's an afternoon tee time. And the grandstands at the Open Championships are a lot closer to the tee boxes than it is for a US Open. Or, I mean, it probably feels like the first tee at the Masters where they basically lined the tee box. And it was downwind. I remember I just needed to hit like a 3-iron down there. And I just knew it's like standing over it. Like I knew I was going to hit a bad shot. Still wanted to hit it. I don't think I got the club past like parallel to the ground before I started down. I probably hit this ball. I mean, I chunked it about 3 inches, maybe more. This ball probably went about 80 yards off the tee with a little draw. And so, the Open Championship crowds, you'll hear the ooh, just in the background, and you're just like, oh my gosh, I really just did that at a major championship. And
On his
so
way
my
to
buddy,
T11.
my buddies are laughing, and I'm just kind of in shock and embarrassed, and but then we get up, and I'll never forget this. I think it must have been like noon or something, but there was one guy who came up to me, just a spectator, absolutely hammered. I mean, he's probably had more alcohol to drink than anybody else on the golf course combined. And he comes up, he's like, "Hey, like let's take a selfie." So took a selfie with him. First hole, just chunked my tee shot.
Mhm.
But I think that kind of like helped relax me a little bit. Um, Kind of took my mind off that shot. And so, we're standing there, my buddy's canning for me. I'm like, what do we have for a yardage? He's like, I think we're too far back for a sprinkler head. He's like, I think we just got to try and lay up here, and then we'll go from there. So I'm like, okay, well, what do you think? We just kind of guessed. We're like, okay, if I had a 4-iron, I think we had like 295 or something. I was like, if I hit a 4-iron, we should be within 70 yards or whatever of the green. And he goes, yeah. So it's like howling downwind. I hit the shot and I flushed it, and then we start walking. I'm like, yeah, that should be a good line. He's like, yeah. And all of a sudden, you just kind of start hearing claps. So we're thinking, oh yeah, it's probably a good layup. We get up there and it's rolled out like onto the green about 20 feet. So I
Oh
end up
wow.
making par after after that chunked 4 or 3-iron off the tee. So
Did you make the putt?
no,
No.
I
Okay.
missed it, made par, but ended up shooting 2 under that round. Then I played with one of my longtime like idols growing up, Ernie Els, the third round, shot 3 under
Awesome.
there.
Nice.
Awesome.
And he, the whole round, he's just, telling me how good my game is and that I belong out there. And so it was really cool to have, somebody that you've idolized growing up say stuff like that to you. And then the fourth round I played with Rafa, and I think I shot even.
Shot 70.
Yeah, some, yeah.
Mhm.
And so the 17th hole was a par five. Um, if I had birdied it, I think I would have finished tied for sixth. But I hit it into the right pot bunker, try to get it out, hits the lip, plugs on the lip, and it's like the pin's only like 3 paces on, but somehow hit that out to like 3 feet, make the putt, go to 18, two putt for par, and I was sitting T10 at the time. So I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I'm going to finish inside top 10.
Yeah.
Then of course Brooks has to come through and makes
Mhm.
birdie on 17, pars 18, so bumps me out one spot. So
Yep.
you know, but yeah, it was just an incredible experience for my first major. Still haven't beat T11 yet. I've
Good.
probably played 11 majors up to date, I think. But
Yeah, I got him here in front of me. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep. Had you played much links golf prior to the Open at
no,
Brookdale?
not really.
Okay.
I think the only other place I may have played was in 2000, maybe it was 2010 at Chambers Bay. I think it was the Pub Links, maybe. That was probably the only time I've actually seen like a links golf course or a linksy type golf course. So when I got out there, it was pretty cool to see. You know, I've went out there, tried every shot, putted with a 3-wood from off the green from a bowl, and it was just so cool to be able to hit shots like that where you probably wouldn't be able to hit a lot of those shots, out here. So
Right.
it was a very cool experience.
What kind of status did that give you for the 2018 season?
I believe
Anything?
if I had finished top 10, I think I would have had been invited back, plus the PGA Championship, I believe, PGA and US Open, possibly, and maybe a couple PGA Tour starts. But because I actually finished outside of that, it was just the non-member FedEx points at the time.
Yeah. How long does it take for me to walk into your house and know that you're a professional golfer?
It's first step.
First
You'll
step.
see all my golf clubs lined up.
Okay.
All of my bags throughout the years. Everything's kind of right as soon as you enter the front door, it'll be right there.
Right
And
there.
then to the left is all of the trophies as well. So yeah, it wouldn't take you long.
Perfect. How's your wife been through all this? I met her just real briefly at Boise Albertsons, and she was just through the moon when you won.
Yeah. It's been obviously a very exciting time, and um, she's been very supportive. When we first started dating, she knew nothing about golf.
Right.
And so, she was like, "Oh, is this tournament that important, or what's so important about this?" Didn't know what a bogey was, didn't know what a birdie was. I could have made a 7 on a par 4, and she would have said, "Oh yeah, great job. Like, you got into the hole 7 shots. It's pretty good." And,
Right.
so. And then about a year into dating, she's actually started taking up golf so she could learn more about it. And so that later on down the road, like we could play golf together. And yeah, I mean, it's just when somebody's, that supportive, you just kind of know, okay, like this, she's a keeper. So yeah, it's been a very exciting time for us. For some reason, that win in Boise was more emotional than my first win in Jersey. She cried both times, but
Right.
I think I only teared up after Boise. But it was actually her first time being there in person for one of my wins. So,
Nice.
and we did it 2 weeks in a row. So that was obviously pretty cool. But yeah, she's been back in Korea since after Boise. Just waiting on her green card. We've been married since last December, so hopefully it's
Congratulations.
done by Sony, and she'll be out starting Sony.
Does the tour have any sort of resources to help you guys with that kind of stuff? I mean, there's so many international players.
The PGA Tour and the Korn Ferry Tour, I think they have a lawyer that handles stuff like that. But she wanted to apply for it in Korea. That way she can kind of travel back and forth. Because if she had
Sure.
applied for it here, she wouldn't be able to go back to Korea for, until the green card process ended. So we hired somebody there. Then we found out about the lawyer here. But yeah, I think either way, we probably would have still applied for it in Korea,
Sure.
just so she kind of has the freedom to kind of bounce back and forth.
Do you plan on, so can she travel with you at all, or does she have to have the card fully to travel with you?
So she was able to come to, like, for the 7-week stretch between, what was it, Denver through Boise, I guess. And so she could still stay 3 months at a time. The only problem is, I think, if she comes for 3 months and leaves for a month and comes for 3 months, if it's too frequent, I think that kind of messes up the green card application.
Gotcha.
And then if she's here and they need her for an interview there and she's not there, then she gets moved to the back of the line again. So
Oh, wow.
Understood.
yeah, it was kind of a risk for her to come, but I'm glad she did, and we got to experience, like I said, those 2 wins together. So that was very special.
That's excellent. He's Chan Kim, newly minted PGA Tour official card carrying member of the 2024 season. What does that look like? What's the next event coming up here for you? Is first event Sony?
Sony is the first event, which is awesome. I actually had a sponsored invite 2 years ago, so I got to play it for the first time. But um, gosh, when we were back in Hawaii, we used to have this thing called the Governor's Cup, and so the top 10 or top 12 pros and the top 12 AMs would play for a spot in Sony. It was just a 1 day qualifier for the, one spot for the pro, one spot for the AM. That's how Tad Fujikawa got in. Obviously, played extremely well at the age of 16.
Right.
Kind of shocked the golfing world. But that was like one of my biggest goals growing up in Hawaii. Never got it done, but so it was special to play it 2 years ago. But now as a card holder, I guess it's even more special. So I'll play Sony, American Express. I mean, I'm basically gonna play every event that I can play before that reshuffle.
How many guaranteed starts do you have before the shuffle?
I think it's until the RSM, I believe. So I don't know the exact count. I haven't looked at which events have changed to elevated. All I know is AT&T now is an elevated event, but I think Waste Management is not.
Mm-hmm.
So if that's the case, I mean, it'd be pretty cool to play a tournament where I grew up, and then play a tournament in my backyard. So
Oh, you got to play Phoenix, right?
yeah,
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
So that's I'm actually pretty nervous. Obviously there's going to be 250,000 people or whatever. I mean, that's
Mm-hmm.
probably more than some of the majors out there. So it's going to be crazy. That 16th hole, every single time we're luckily, us as Korn Ferry Tour players, we have the privilege of being able to go out and play the stadium course, throughout the off season and whatnot to practice. So the amount of shots I've hit on 16, just like trying to imagine like what it would feel like. Um,
Just have your
yeah,
buddies
hopefully, I
throw
hope I
beer
can hit.
bottles at you. That's all the practice you need.
Yeah. So yeah, I got to start dodging beer bottles and beer cans.
What's your go ahead, Mike? You
No,
got
I
something?
was just gonna say that's
Yeah.
awesome. Are you? I assume the plan is you're gonna maintain a residence there, right? That's
Yes. Actually, we've just recently started looking at houses. We were actually kind of waiting for her to get her green card. So I'm actually still with my parents. Luckily they haven't kicked me out yet, thank goodness. But yeah, we've just started looking. So we've got a couple in mind, but we're basically going to stay somewhere in the Gilbert area of Arizona.
yeah. Are you too old to get grounded?
Um, Probably not. My parents, I'm sure would. I've been pretty good, so we haven't had that conversation yet. But I'm sure one little mistake, and I could be grounded and sitting in my room.
Jan Kim misses the tournament because he's grounded.
You got any routines, Chan? Are you a routine kind of guy, like showing up to the golf course X amount of hours, do chipping,
Yeah,
putting first?
like I said, I haven't really been like the craziest like fitness guy, obviously. So my normal routine is I'll get there 2 hours before. I'll have breakfast or lunch, either one. Probably finish eating in about 20 minutes, so it leaves me an hour 40. I'll go to the locker room, get my shoes changed, put sunblock on, do a couple quick exercises. And so I'd like to get out to the putting green by, hour 15 before. I'll roll some putts, do some 3, 6, 9 footers, then do some lag putts. Um, then when I have 45 minutes left, I'll go to the range, hit balls. I'll start off with, just hitting little mini pitches to then, working on to full swings with wedges and, mid irons, driver. And then I always like to hit the club that I'm going to hit on the first tee. Then when I have about 15 minutes left, I'll go back to the putting green. My caddy or whoever will take the track man and put it in the locker. So I'll go to the putting green, roll a couple more putts for about 5 minutes, and then head over to the tee box 10 minutes before.
When you're not playing, do you watch golf?
Um, if it's on, yes. If not, I love my video games, so normally you'll probably see me playing video games more than watching TV or anything else.
What do you play?
What? Yeah, what do you play?
There's a variety of games. Mainly Call of Duty for the longest time.
There you
Still love
go.
it. Actually upset that I didn't pre-order the newest one that came out. So
Have you
I'm
ever
just gonna.
met Tiger Woods online in a Call of Duty room?
I have not. No,
Okay,
that would have been cool.
bummer.
That would have been cool. Um, but I've played with Xander. I've played with Max. Kurt Kitayama. Minwoo Lee is really good at it too. David Lipsky. Like we all play pretty much every night. So
Okay.
it's a good group going. Then I'll play Apex Legends. Jake Knapp. I've been playing with him recently, so
Yeah.
that's been fun. Um, and I've actually been getting into like this um like a role playing dungeon game. It's called Dark and Darker, so that's been pretty fun. But yeah, once I get put my headset on, I mean, I'm not answering texts, calls, nothing.
You're in the
So
zone.
sometimes my wife gets a little mad at me since she's overseas,
Notifications
and
are silenced.
but
Yeah. Okay, so you just name dropped a lot of people. So who's the most famous contact in your address book right now?
oh, I mean, I guess it would have to be. Gosh, that's a
And
tough one because
you can plead the fifth if you want to. I'm just saying,
I mean, I would say, gosh, I don't know who's the highest road ranked player just because I haven't looked at it in so long. But
Sure.
I've got Xander, I've got Max.
You can
Um,
send Max and Xander a text right now.
yeah, oh yeah,
Okay.
oh yeah,
Well, Xander's a San Diego boy, so
yeah. He's in Florida now. Was in Vegas. He's just kind of you know, but I think the move to Florida was probably really good for him because I think also as a golfer for us since we're traveling so much in the States, living on the very East Coast, especially in Florida where there's a lot of golf,
hmm
it's easier with the time difference changes because if you move west, you're just waking up, an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours earlier. So
Right.
it actually works out better than me trying to go to Florida and having to wake up, you know, 3 hours earlier. And like I try to prepare myself for it a week in advance. Like I'll try to go to sleep early at home, but like sometimes it's just really hard. So um, yeah, I think it was a really good move for him to go out there.
Mike and I like to talk about food on this podcast. So you guys
Perfect.
travel a lot.
Hmm.
So you guys are probably foodies. So give us some favorite cities and some favorite joints that you like to eat at.
Oh man. I mean, Chicago for sure for pizza.
Hmm
We went downtown. The wife and I went downtown. I can't remember where it was. We went to two different places, but one of them was just absolutely amazing. Just deep dish, lots of cheese, like just, one of our favorites. And pizza's like one of our favorite foods. So, um, like I said, I'm not really like a fitness guy. So, we pretty much devoured that pizza. I mean, it was done. Um, Gosh, some barbecue never hurts, like
Mm.
Tennessee, had really good barbecue. Obviously, in the Texas area, it's some
Yeah.
amazing barbecue. I want to say we went to a place called the Hard Eight, maybe in Texas.
Okay.
It was probably some of the best barbecue I've ever had in my life. Um, we had in Jersey, we had some seafood. That was really good. But yeah, I mean, we're not very picky eaters. Like we will try everything before we say we don't like it or we like it. Um, so yeah, it's been pretty fun to travel to a lot of these places and ask people that are from there or ask some of the guys that have been there before. What are some of the best restaurants to go to? What should I get? Because some of the guys that have been, especially the caddies, some of them that have been there for, 4 or 5 years, like they'll tell you exactly where to go and
Right.
exactly what to order. And, if if you're taking three people, get this size. If it's just you, get this size. Like they have it down to a T. So, yeah, it was pretty awesome.
You got a Mount Rushmore of golfers?
Um, I mean, it's probably a little bit bigger than just four people, but
Sure. Go ahead.
gosh, it's so tough. I mean, Alistair, just because we work with the same coach. Doherty, he's been in Arizona for a while now, and um, I'm actually probably gonna play golf with him tomorrow. Play golf with him all the time. Jared Sawada, long time friend from Hawaii. One of my first junior tournaments, actually, when I started golf, I played with him, and probably the best short game display I've ever seen in my life. Still has a great short game. Play with him quite often just because he moved out here now. Um, Jake Knapp, I've actually only gone to meet him towards the end of the season, but wow, what an amazing guy. Easy to get along with. Um, Hits it a mile, my goodness. Patrick Flavin, another one that's here. I mean, these are all guys that I've met probably towards the beginning of the year. But we've just grown so much closer throughout the season, and so it's been a really good time. Like there's a group of caddies that I can call and talk to at any time, and then there's probably about 20 guys that I'm really close with on the Korn Ferry Tour that I could call at a moment's notice and talk to them. So
Every guy that we have on the show is it's like a band of brothers with you guys, the Korn Ferry Tour, and obviously on the PGA Tour, I get that too, but you really feel it with the KFT guys. I love it.
yeah, the Korn Ferry Tour honestly is like the first tour where, like, as a new member, I felt like I was welcome. Like I've been there forever. Especially with the staff, and the whole tour in itself is literally like one big family. We can hang out at any given day. You could grab dinner with a group of people that there's gonna be no arguments, no rumors, no nothing. It's just a great group of people, and um, yeah, it literally just feels like brothers since I've known since I was born.
What are some of your favorite courses that you played at on the Korn Ferry Tour?
Ooh, um, I would say I've got a few. Abaco in the Bahamas, probably one of my favorite golf courses. It was wide and generous, but when the wind picks up, it gets really, really tough. And the greens are so grainy out there that it's hard to read putts. So it's pretty challenging. I know guys went low, but like I said, these guys are so good that anybody on any given day, I don't care if it's raining or blowing 50, like somebody's going to come in shooting 10 under par.
Right.
Um, the course is in Savannah, Georgia. We played there for Q School, then we played there for the Club Car Championship. Unbelievable golf course there. Um, Actually, Columbia. Um, the two courses we played there were absolutely amazing. I mean, they played short because we're at such high elevation, but the condition of the course was really good, and tree line, so that was pretty cool. Obviously the finals courses, I mean the Grove, Columbus, um, or is it Columbus? Victoria National, obviously unbelievable. Um, so it's been the finals courses are always really, really good. The other one I would say that I would include in there for sure is TPC Colorado. But those are all like real good tournament golf courses where you could probably host a PGA Tour event, and it'd be a great event, and you'd see some really good golf being played.
Yeah. What's you have any goals for next year? Any tournaments you want to try and make, or is it, a certain spot on the money list you're aiming for?
I mean, I definitely love to make the Masters. I know it's in April, so it's gonna be I'm gonna have to play really, really well, to start off the season. Um, but I'd like to get into some of the majors for sure. And the biggest goal is to just get the FedEx Cup playoffs and try and get inside that top 30 on the FedEx Cup points list. So, that's kind of the goal. I just, but I'm just going to take it step by step, tournament by tournament. Just do the best that I can. And, I've the last 5, 6 tournaments, I've really realized that, if I tried my hardest and it didn't work out, I could actually live with myself. But it's when I, start getting frustrated or get angry, and it's almost like I give up for like two holes, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I've got to make the cut, and then I start to try, but it's too late, and I've missed the cut by one.
Right.
It's just those moments where I'm like, gosh, like if I'd actually just stayed focused and really really tried my best, it probably would have been fine. So like a perfect example is Columbus. It wasn't hitting it really that well. Um, but I tried my hardest, and I mean, I only missed the cut by 2, whereas I think in, my previous self, I probably would have missed it by 5 or 6. So yeah, it's we're all constantly learning day by day, and just learning from all the experiences that we've had, and trying to better ourselves.
Got any best pieces of advice that you've received from a fellow pro?
I mean, everybody's always like, because we, especially on the Korn Ferry Tour, like we love to push each other. So, like, we'll always say, like, how good of a game we have and whatnot. But it's always come down to like, give it all you have, and when you get off the golf course, don't have any regrets on any choices that you've made. If you tried your best and gave it all you had, then whether you shoot 67 or 77, you should walk off the golf course thinking, okay, like I've done all I can. We'll learn from it, see where we could improve, but at least we know that we've hit all the shots we wanted. We had a clear mindset, and that's all you can really do.
All right, we always like to do this with the first guest, Chan, and so we are going to give you rapid fire questions.
Oh gosh, I'm so terrible at these.
This is going to be great. No, these are easy. We go easy on the guests. We could go hard, but we go easy. What's your favorite?
97.
Yeah, 097.
Oh gosh.
What's your favorite club in your bag?
Driver.
Mike?
Draw or fade?
Fade.
Well, so that answers dogleg left or right.
Dogleg right.
Play in the wind or rain. You got to choose one.
Wind. I can't stand rain.
Front pin or back?
Oh, front pin for sure for me.
Play only one course forever. What's the course?
Probably Augusta National.
Yeah, that's the right answer. Yeah.
That's it. If you were commissioner for a day and you could change one rule in golf, what would you change?
Getting getting relief from divots in the fairway.
Okay, Chan,
That's my favorite answer.
Chan, have you listened to our show before?
I actually have not.
And that's fine, but I'm asking you that for a reason, because Mike and I have asked this specific question to almost every guest. And I want to say 90% of the folks have said exactly that.
Yeah,
so I bet.
It's amazing.
We hear it all the time.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It makes Mike happy because Mike always hits in divots. So I don't know.
Well, Mike, me and you both.
You hit it past divots. I make divots.
I find the divots in the rough.
Well, so links or tree line course? What do you prefer?
Oh, links for me.
Okay. Well, obviously with the T11 at Birkdale, so.
That's probably one of the biggest influences of why I like links golf courses now.
Put a nice, good taste in your mouth for links golf.
Mm-hmm.
That's fantastic. All right. So go ahead,
I got
Mike.
one more. So let's say 20 something years down the road, who are your honorary starters for the Masters?
Oh gosh. I don't want to be offensive, but I mean, Tiger would be pretty cool, right?
Yeah.
Tiger, Phil, as much as I don't know what's going on between them, but that'd be pretty cool. I mean, it's got to be like, yeah, it's got to be Tiger, Phil, probably Ernie. I think that would be my top three for sure, 100%.
That's a good three. I mean, those were the big three. Like
yeah, absolutely.
In 2000 to 2001, too, when Tiger was on his run, and Ernie, God bless him, man. He tried that Masters so many times and he just failed short with Tiger there.
Yeah, that's that's right about like at their, I want to say their prime. I mean, they've played so well for so long, but when all three of them were at their prime is right when I started golf, like 2002. So, it was definitely awesome to see, and to be like, oh man, like I want to play golf like these guys, hit a long ways, have so much control over a golf ball. And obviously Tiger with his putting, which was just unbelievable, and under pressure, like I felt like he was making every putt under pressure. And so, the other thing that really amazed me about him was, like, he lines up his ball, so it's like you can't really, and it rolls end over end, so you can't really say, oh, he read it one way but mishit it and it happened to go in. It's like, no, he's read every putt perfect with the perfect amount of pace under pressure to win a golf tournament every single time. So that's, that to me is just like, the precision in that is just unbelievable under that amount of pressure.
Man. Jan, we're going to let you go here, but we always like to get a little, not emotional, but personal about this game that we all love. I love it. Mike loves it. You love it. I mean, it's the silliest, dumbest, best game in the world. So we always like to know, how has golf changed your life?
Honestly, if I wasn't playing golf, gosh, I don't know if, like, I think Jake Knapp, he actually did something for the Korn Ferry Tour where they asked him, if you didn't play golf, if you gave up on golf, like, what would you do? And he's like, I could list a few things, but he's just like, but then again, like, I'll wake up the next morning, I'm just like, there's nothing else like I'd rather do. Like, it's my whole life, and I'd rather try doing this and making it work than having to have an alternate option. I've actually suffered a lot of injuries through golf, but it's literally, I wouldn't, if I were to get injured, I mean, knock on wood, but I'd rather get injured again and still be able to continue to play golf than do anything else and not have any problems. Like, doing what I love, I can manage having an injury here and there, rather than doing something that I have no passion for, and I'm just stuck doing it for the rest of my life. So, it's allowed me to meet a lot of new people as well. The social group has grown, and obviously to have so many fans now, like, throughout the world, pretty much, that's also very, very special. So, yeah, just meeting so many new people, and being able to be outdoors for a job, out in the sun. You can, I get to ride a cart, and when I'm relaxing, and it's just really cool to be able to call this a job, and obviously very blessed to be able to be doing this.
Rough Fairways is produced by Eddie Dunn and Mike Sells. Chan, that was a great conversation, and hopefully the next time that you do a Zoom meeting, it is with us. Good luck next year in 2024 on the PGA Tour. Like the sound of that. As always, listeners, we appreciate you. Looks like the holidays are coming. Be safe, be warm, be cheerful, and most of all, be thankful. For Mike, I am Eddie. We're Rough Fairways. Remember, be kind to each other.